Ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby. Them damn enchiladas, baby. Hey, this is Miguel A. Nunez Jr., and you are listening to Gag Me with a Knife. That's right, the one and only. This is where you find me. Ooh, baby.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, yo.
Are you ready for the spooky ookie? More spooky ookies?
Well, my birthday's October 27th, so you know I like to get spooky. Let that Scorpio stinger fly.
Gross. Okay. Hey, guys, it's your favorite final girl, Emily, and your favorite final baby, Mike, coming at you with a new episode of Gag Me with a Knife, a weekly podcast where we dissect, disembowel, and shred the best and worst slasher movies. We have a special guest, again, Ben.
Hey,
He's
Benny.
back, filling in for Nick this week. We're going to talk about the 1978 classic, Halloween. I'm going to read the original VHS box.
Box it up.
The most successful independent motion picture of all time. Not anymore, but a horror classic starring Donald Pleasance, Jamie Lee Curtis, PJ Souls, and Nancy Loomis. Michael Myers escapes from the Illinois State Mental Hospital after 15 years treatment for the brutal murder of his sister and is returning to Haddonfield to relive his crime. Michael sets about systematically killing his prey while Dr. Loomis searches for a clue that will lead him to Michael. What follows is a reign of terror. He came home for Halloween and may return. What? That's what it says.
They return?
He came home for Halloween and may return.
May return. Well, if he came home, he returned.
What are your thoughts, Ben? Since you're a special guest, what are your initial, general thoughts?
I like the movie.
Okay.
I think it's a great movie. I think it's a classic. And one of the things I like about it is it feels like fall when you watch it.
Except for they didn't film it in the fall.
It still makes it feel that way in
It's
your
got
house.
a very fall feel.
Like I had to cover up my
They
feet.
filmed it in the
"My feet
spring
are
because
cold."
Robert Englund of Nightmare on Elm Street fame actually was a person that threw fall
one of the
leaves.
leaf throwers.
Yeah.
He was a leaf thrower.
He was a leaf thrower. Yeah.
You know the best fall feeling comes from Halloween 4's beginning? Something
Oh,
about
yeah, you like the
the
opening to
beginning
that
of
a
Halloween
lot.
4 just feels like...
It was also filmed in Los Angeles, not in Illinois, so, I mean,
True
it was, like,
that.
hot as shit. I think it was, like, in the spring or something when they filmed it. That's why they had to, like,
made in
paint.
LA? Shit.
Yep. Anyway, I thought they filmed it, like, Burbank, but that's what my guess would have been. I don't even know why. I don't know where that is.
Yeah,
I don't know. But it was all in California. So, go on.
Let's get started?
Get it going.
All right, so it hit, man, these credits hit me like a ton of bricks this time. The score is perfect. There's just a jack-o'-lantern.
Oh, I didn't say my initial thoughts. I'm sorry. I do like this movie. People think that I don't like this movie because I hate on it a lot.
You just don't like Jamie Lee Curtis as a final girl.
That's not even
strong final girl.
I don't think she's the final girl at all. I think Dr. Loomis is. But I don't dislike this movie. I think it's really good. I just
Wait,
don't.
Dr. Loomis is a girl?
Well, there are final boys in a lot of. He's the
I don't
final
have a good
person.
Donald Pleasance.
But
impression.
I just think that it is not the first slasher, and I don't like when
it's
people
not.
say it is.
Black
and
Christmas, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I just think that it gets too much credit
Is Last House on the Left
for
a
some
slasher?
things.
Right.
I think Last House on the Left has
Is that the
slasher
blood
elements in
feasts
it.
in the 60s?
Yeah. So
I think what you
Yeah,
told me one
Peeping
time.
Tom,
30s.
Psycho.
I think what you told me one time is that you just don't like John Carpenter.
Well, yeah,
You
no,
respect his work, but you don't
I respect.
like it.
I actually, but I like
You don't like
Halloween.
The Fog?
No, not
You
really.
like Big Trouble, Prince of Darkness?
We've gone over every time
I
you do
know.
this. You list
The
them,
Thing.
and I
'Cause
say
I
not
love
really.
'em.
No, and the only reason is because when I watched The Thing for the first time, I was really little, and it was
man.
so hopeless at the end, and that's why I don't like that movie. I'll never
I
watch
don't like
it
it
again.
because it terrified me. That's because it was good.
Because it was really sad. I was just like, there's no hope. And so, I mean, like, I guess it's a good thing because I like movies that make
Thing,
me
it's
feel like
about-
shit now. But I don't know. But I do
We were
like
having a
I do like They
conversation
Live.
before
I like
this.
They Live.
They
about
live
how
I
John
know he did it.
Carpenter
That's why I
loves
just said it.
westerns, but he never really made a western. But all his
but
movies are like westerns.
Like I
That's
said,
the thing.
I do like this movie. I just don't think. I don't like the franchise, and I don't like the fandom around this
It's like
movie,
the
and I don't.
It's the Beatles of horror movies.
And
It's like,
I
yeah,
really,
it's great, but everybody says that's the one. It's like,
but I really am sorry, Halloween fans.
You're saying it's overrated.
Like people that are fucking Halloween fans, like hardcore, are vicious and mean.
but you think this is overrated, basically.
No, I don't really. I don't even think it's overrated. I just think it's like it's not the first slasher. That just irritates me. And it gets, and there are scenes that get tedious for me.
Yeah, I can see it.
So,
Tedious?
They get tedious and tedious. I take off my shirt and I play with my tits because it's so tedious.
Like what you see.
It's always
you're like
yes.
Linda.
Not really. She said it was overrated.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and say
Not
that.
my tits.
Okay, can we
No,
Those
it's
are not
not.
overrated.
can we do Mary Fuck Kill with Lori, Linda, and
Nancy.
Annie?
Okay, Linda is fuck.
Yeah, fuck
Lori
Linda.
is kill.
Lori's kill, and Annie's
and
Mary.
Annie's Mary, yeah, for sure.
Do you agree, Ben?
I'm gonna go with fuck, then kill, then fuck, then kill, then fuck, then
No,
kill.
you have
Which
to
one?
do Mary fucking kill.
All three of them. I would fuck all of them and then kill all
Oh,
of them
yeah.
immediately afterwards.
That's
Our resident psychopath,
psychotic.
Ben. Don't
No.
kill us until after the episode.
And then I'd be friends with
Dr. Loomis.
No, probably Lindsay.
Would you kill Dr. Loomis if it was friend zone
I like
too?
Lindsay because that's Kyle
Lindsay.
Richards and she's in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
You're like Bob.
I love Bob.
You want to rip her
I do. I would
clothes off.
fuck Bob. I would fuck him. He's hot. He is hot.
I never noticed it. So it's probably a big thing in the Halloween love community. But Bob tells Linda, "Don't get dressed. Leaves the bedroom naked.
Can you get to the
downstairs
movie and
get a
then you can
beer,
get to that when you get
and
to
he's
that
fully
part?
clothed."
You can talk about that when you get to
Okay,
that
so
part.
it's
of
this
the movie.
perfect
Yeah.
credit scene with just a jack-o'-lantern and the orange credits.
Mustafa and
It's perfect, right?
Cod.
Am I wrong?
Oh, well, you know what's weird is that
It's so
so many
good.
countries don't have Halloween, and so they had to change the name of this movie in like Sweden and like all these different places because they're like, what the fuck's Halloween?
Halloween. What is that? I do not know because I'm from Sweden.
Because it sounds like, I mean, I guess it's probably sacrilegious.
What do they
for a lot
call
of
it?
people. They don't have it. They just don't have it.
They don't have the movie?
They don't have
What did
the
they call
holiday.
What did they call the movie?
They call it different things.
I thought they called it Samhain.
in Sweden they called it.
It's Samhain, you stupid sons
No,
of
there are
bitches.
countries that don't celebrate Halloween at all. So they're like, I don't know what the fuck it is. Remember when we did
They
Hack a
just
Lantern
tossed- they've
and that
lost the
guy,
touch
like
with
it was
the
like an Indian guy that
Pegasus.
directed it, and we were just like, he
Oh,
probably didn't know what the fuck it
Hack a
was.
Well,
Lantern.
they don't celebrate the
Hack-a-lantern.
4th of
There's
July in other
there's no
countries.
Halloween in India.
Or Thanksgiving.
What? No,
So Canadian Thanksgiving's on a different day than American
they don't have.
Thanksgiving?
It's because it's not. Thanksgiving is American.
No, there's a fucking Canadian Thanksgiving, bruh.
Okay, because Thanksgiving is to celebrate the Pilgrims and the Indians. So why would it be in
You think they don't-
Canada?
They also had Pilgrims and First Nations people in Canada.
And let me ask you a question. When's the last time you carved a jack-o'-lantern?
Like
Halloween?
5 years ago.
I think
5 years?
2019.
Yeah, I did it with Ian
2019.
Lawrence
So
and I
4
did it.
years ago.
Yeah, it's been,
Man,
not been that long ago.
That's a long time.
Also, one other thing, just the last
messy.
thing, they
You guys are
do
missing
use
out.
This year.
Don't Fear the Reaper, and I'm sure that they didn't
Yeah.
pay to use it, but I bet
BSC's probably
Blue
getting
Oyster Cult
money.
was just like cool about
They're
it.
probably getting money.
No, I bet you they were just cool about
probably
it.
still
They
getting
probably
money.
just liked the fucking movie. and they were
AMC's
like,
going to
"Oh."
show it with Joe Bob next week or the 10th or something like that. They're probably going to, BOC's going to get a little check in the mail.
Wait, they're gonna be on. No,
Joe Bob's going to be on AMC. It's not going to be on Shudder, but he's going to do
because
his...
AMC owns Shudder now.
And Shudder already has where Joe Bob did 1, 4, and 5.
Well, AMC
like
owns Shudder, so that's
2018.
why it would be on AMC.
Wait, now who was supposed to be getting royalties?
Yeah, but it's like
Blue
not on
Oyster
Shudder.
Cult.
It's an AMC exclusive on the cable network.
Yeah. Oh, on like the on TV.
Joe
okay.
Bob's going to be on AMC. I love
No,
you,
but
Joe
then
Bob.
some-
Hey, so next week we're doing Jacko. Last week we're doing Jacko as well. Both these movies have horror hosts. I feel like this is kind of horror host appreciation.
Yeah, Joe Bob's the
What's
shit.
it? What's the name of the horror host in this? Like Doctor.
I don't know. That's in Jacko, so let's move on.
But I mean, when
Dr.
they're watching-
Dementia?
Dr. Dementia.
I
yeah.
think so, yeah.
Like there's a 6-hour movie marathon with
Yeah.
Forbidden Planet and the thing
Yeah,
from
because
another
she's like,
planet.
Lindsay won't know what hit. Just go on with the movie.
All right.
I'll find the other names of the movies in other countries.
So we get a little text. It's Haddonfield, Illinois, Halloween night, 1963. We hear kids doing rhymes, another theme shared with Jacko. Then we get the house. We see the house from
Let's
the
not
outside.
talk about that with Jacko because I'm not going to put them in the same realm of a movie.
I know, but they're both
it's
have
not
kids
fair.
rhymes.
Like but it's not
Do you know at
fair.
the beginning of
Halloween's
this?
good and Jacko sucks.
At the beginning of this, there is a rhyme about the boogeyman.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
and
like
Jacko's all about.
no.
Oh, you mean the jack-o'-lantern
Okay,
man?
but you know what? Linear, Mike.
Okay, ADD Mikey. So we get the house with Mikey Vision. I could say
Yeah, it
Mikey
looks like
Vision.
a John Hughes movie.
Mikey Vision is here.
Very quickly changes.
The short Mikey Vision gets the cavorting couple through the window on the couch, and they're like, "Let's go upstairs." We see the full moon in the background. Also in Jacko.
Shut up about Jacko.
We see a little hand getting a knife. And then we see the Judas's sister. We see the boyfriend leaving, and little Michael goes up the stairs from his point of view again. I didn't
The
hear,
whole beginning is his
I didn't hear
POV.
breathing when he was
He doesn't
little.
breathe. I mean,
So
there's not heavy breathing.
I'll say he's got a strong Giallo vibe.
It really does, yeah. Especially, I think the mask thing. He puts on the mask and it
Yeah.
shuts out the vision except for
Well,
through
that's
the
where
eyes,
it edits.
which I love.
That's where it edits the tracking. That's where it stops the tracking shot.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
you had some.
Oh yeah, that's a oneer until then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really long tracking shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. So he stabs his naked sister, and then he comes down the stairs, and his parents pull up, and he's out there on the lawn with his parents, who are kind of looking dumbfounded, and the camera does this slow crane pull out, and it's just a stunning shot, man. Like, I don't say that a lot about these fucking movies, but this movie, a couple parts, I was just like, that's
Well, it's
perfect.
Halloween, so-
That's why it's a legend.
A classic, you mean? A legend.
It's a legend
Yeah,
in
no
the
one.
whole
It's like you
community.
can't. It's like a movie you can't watch. It's like you just
Yeah.
heard about it. The legend of
Michael Myers.
the movie Halloween.
You've heard of the curse of Michael Myers, but have you heard of the legend of
Of
Michael
the movie,
Myers?
the legend of the movie Halloween, because you can't actually watch it. It's not anything real.
Me, I'm going to Smiths Grove, Illinois. That's where the mental hospital is. And now it's October 30th, 1978. So we're 25 years later. It's raining cats and dogs. There's a nurse smoking parliaments, and she's driving Dr.
Hell yeah,
Loomis.
bitch! I stand for her.
Well, you see that matchbook, the red matchbook that he sees when he finds the truck?
I
in a
also
little
love
while,
this.
but doesn't
This
find
is
the
my.
murdered
This is probably
cat.
my favorite scene in the movie. Honestly, I love the scene. It's it's like very unnerving. She's smoking parliament, so hell yeah, bitch. Also,
girl.
it's just
You know why they have
it's
those
a really
recessed
good.
filters, right?
For cocaine selling?
It was originally for snipers in the war.
Wait,
to
why
bite
would that
down
help
on.
snipers?
Because they could bite down. It was something for them to bite down on when they would shoot.
Is that real? I've
Yes.
never heard that.
I thought it was for something else.
That's
I think it's-
another.
I thought
They
it was
found
for
that out
selling
later.
drugs.
They found that out later, but it was originally. It wasn't originally made like that for coke.
I also just thought it was for New Yorkers because
No.
you can smoke a parliament in 45
No,
seconds.
the original reason for
Get
having
that
them was for
windy ash.
snipers. Anyway, move on.
Yes, ma'am.
When you don't have time for a natural spirit, you can smoke a parliament.
Natural spirits are for hipsters.
They're called American spirits. They're
Oh,
just
yeah,
natural
American.
tobacco.
Whatever.
That'll
go
be
on.
$18.
Can we go on, please?
Okay, so Loomis is giving us one of his many spiels. We find out that Michael hasn't spoken for 15 years, but he's been put away for 25 years. Does that mean he was speaking for 10 years? I don't know. But
No, he didn't speak for the entire time.
well, that would be 25. And Loomis,
I know, but so
Loomis
that's
is
a
bad at
that's
math.
a continuity thing then because
Maybe you see
Had
the
he ever
doc.
spoken
I really
before?
want to kill some teenage girls.
I mean,
I
that
don't
might
think
have been
no.
like
I
a
think you're
red
supposed to think
flag
that it
for
was
his
like kind of like
parents.
a boogeyman type of thing. Like
He's been waiting,
When this
inhumanly
happened,
waiting
yeah.
for these 15 years. It's like, no, do your math. Wait. No, I'm wrong. It's only 15 years from 1963 to 1978. I'm just stupid. And, Emily, could you call me a
fucking idiot.
fucking idiot?
He missed out on a lot of great music during that time while he was locked away.
Sorry, Miss Martin. That was my
fuck. It was your math. One of your math teachers.
Sixth grade math teacher.
I like
Shit,
how
you
you're
probably-
just blaming her.
Yeah, she must not have been
No,
that
I'm
good.
apologizing to her for not being able to
I know what you're
subtract.
doing.
I should say, like,
Why
sorry,
were you
Miss
just learning
Conway.
subtraction in 6th grade?
No, that's why it should be like Miss Conway, like my second grade.
It's,
teacher.
yeah, earlier than that, probably like 1st
Miss
grade.
Polk, my
Why
first
do you
grade. Sorry,
learn
Miss Polk.
math at all when we have calculators now?
I don't know.
And
Ask
That's
Excel
obviously 15
spreadsheets
years.
and-
Loomis is right. Mikey's wrong. They're going to transport this crazy motherfucker to a different place than the Illinois State Asylum. I don't know why. It's the law. That's what Loomis says. So they pull up, and it's raining
the
cats
law.
and dogs, and the loonies are out, man. There's like people.
that scene is so fucking intense.
It's scary.
Yeah.
There's like
Okay,
the nurses like, are they,
it was called Witches' Night in Italy. Move
Witches'
on.
Night. Okay, that's like Notte
I found
della
Notte bene.
Notte delle Streghe.
You can go.
That's a guess.
Next time I find another one, I'll
Did I
let you
mention
know.
the loonies are out? So Loomis gets out and he's gonna check up at the fucking security station. It doesn't seem like there's anybody there. And then all of a sudden some big guy jumps on the car and he attacks the
goes,
nurse through the window. And the music, the score in this is so fucking good. I think John Carpenter's music is probably, I like it.
Well, no, I mean, I'll go into it
I
in the
listen to the
trivia.
soundtrack more than I watch
showed
his
the movie
movies.
without the music, and it did not hit at all.
He scored almost all of it. If
I
not
know,
all
but
of
I'm
them,
saying
right?
like
all his
I
movies,
remember when
yeah.
I bought the
And then some.
soundtrack for this movie when I was young. In the liner notes, it told this story, which is like the same thing. He showed his movie to some executives without the music, and they were like, "Okay." It was like boring. And then when he added the music, it made it scary.
The theme
Like
to
the music made the movie.
Attack on Precinct 13 is the hypest ass music there is. You want to do the dishes? Put on Precinct 13 soundtrack. You're gonna be like, I'm doing these motherfucking dishes.
There was a CD. I would say record store. There was a CD store near our high school.
Tower.
It was Disco
Cats.
Exchange.
Was it the Cats records?
No, I don't think it was
it
Disco
was
Exchange.
called.
Cats?
Cats. I forgot about Cats records.
What about Turtles?
Turtles.
Anyway, you could buy.
What are some old ones? Man, people keep posting pictures.
Camelot and Disc Jockey.
Disc jockey, yeah. They were just Tape World down in the basement.
Sam and Goodies.
I miss you, East Town Mall.
No, this was just like a
Knoxville
dude's
Center.
I know,
name.
you went to some
Hamps.
dude's house.
His name was Hamps, or his name was Hamp. And the
Sam
CD
Goodies?
store was called
Ham and Goodies?
See, I said Sam Goodies
You said
already.
Sam Goodies?
Yeah, he's telling a story. I don't.
Well,
Anyway.
people keep talking about Crystal Visions on
Can you
Instagram.
just let him finish what he was saying?
Sorry. Crystal Visions
Please.
ruled.
Well, anyway, you could buy lots of things at Hamps, including bootleg mixes, and anyway, there was one that had the Halloween theme mixed with the Masterpiece song. It was
Oh yeah, no, I remember that fucking
You-
shit. It was
Nah,
yeah, that
nah,
was,
nah.
yeah, yes.
yeah.
I don't remember what song it was. I don't think it was Make Him Say But
Whatever it was, it
Mashup.
worked.
It worked really well. Yeah, I remember that.
And it came on a CDR with a pink.
Remember when
slip of
Jay-Z
paper
did
in
that
it.
shit with the White Album?
No.
Or he did all this to the thing with Weezer?
Danger
Nos
Mouse
all day.
Yeah.
I'm Team Nos.
or
Fuck
something
Jay-Z.
else.
no one- there's-
Illuminati, please don't come after me.
Okay, yeah, you need to shut up.
Beyonce and them big old titties.
Yeah, you better be watching out. They'll come after you with their fucking
They're like,
owl.
we got you, Mikey.
Yeah.
So should I go back to the movie?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So he attacks the nurse and like cracks the window with his big old paw. That's hand. And the nurse doesn't die, but he steals the car and he's driving like a fucking maniac.
Not really. He's driving a lot better than
He's
he should
driving
be.
good.
Which okay,
But like
so
when I say like a
read-
maniac, I mean with skill.
So people have a really hard time with
He
the
was
fact that
6.
he can fucking drive.
So he's 21.
But people think that maybe because he got transported places a lot, so maybe he just like watched the person driving a lot.
If it was a stick shift, there's no fucking way.
It wasn't a
No.
stick shift.
Okay.
There was a woman driving, so it
It's
definitely wasn't a stick
1978.
shift.
At what point did they automatics? Like a lot of cars for a long time weren't automatics. When
No.
did they first start having automatic
That
cars?
was not-
Earlier than you think.
Earlier than 78.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
They were just on the.
I can't drive
Yeah,
a stick
they
shift.
were
My
on that
dad
side,
tried
yeah.
to teach me, but he
You
just
don't know
made
how
me
to
cry.
drive a
I don't know how.
He made me cry.
manual.
I was like,
Neither
I
one
want
of
to
you
do
know
this.
how to drive a manual
Dad.
transmission.
Huh?
He
Neither
can't.
one of you can drive a manual.
No, if you were dying and we could only take you to the hospital in a stick shift, you would probably
I would-
still have to drive.
Yeah,
still
I
have
know.
to drive.
Same.
Like
same.
if this was a different time, there's no Uber.
Do y'all know how to
We
change
didn't
a
have cell
tire?
phones.
No.
I know how to change a tire on most cars. Some of them have proprietary shit. Like I had a Cougar, I had a Mercury Cougar, and you had to have this little key to even get the fucking
That is
tire
true.
off.
That is true. Some of them
If
are
it was
weird.
something like that and I didn't know what I was looking for, then no. But if it's just doing the lug nuts
I don't
and
know
the
how
jack
to.
and
I've seen
stuff.
people do it, but I don't know how.
But I have so much shit in my car normally that it's really hard to get the stuff out
To
from
get to the
in the
spare
trunk. It's at the
and
bottom
the-
of the trunk. You know,
yeah.
it's like I got to take like 7 VCRs and like a crate of food and all the shit out of my car to get to the tire. It's like I'm gonna call my dad.
Where are we in the movie?
Just past. We're
I
just
know.
past the.
I know it's where we
We're
yeah.
having fun.
I mean,
This is why we have so
questionable.
many Patrons. We really love y'all. Hi, Katie. Send us
Hi, Katie.
Quaaludes.
This is for everyone.
This is for everyone, man. Gag Me is for everyone.
Jesus Christ, go on.
We're woke, right?
No.
Wake up, Emily.
I told you I
So we're at the point where Loomis says, the evil's gone. He's gone from here. The evil's gone from
what
here.
movie does he say 5 times?
5 times, 5 times. That's like, I think that's 4 or 5.
Halloween.
5's the last one with him, right? I think
There's it. Yeah.
it's 4.
It's 5. 5 is the last one with him in it.
Is that the one he says 5 times?
I think so, maybe.
It'd be easy to remember. It's got its own mnemonic device in there.
It's like a
5
secret
times number
message
5.
to his agent. 5 times.
5 times the money you made on the
5
original.
times that you made me do this.
Yeah.
Oh shit! No, he didn't have to do 3.
Oh, the Sweden title was changed to the evocative Alla Helgons Blodiga Night, All Saints Bloody Night, since
All
the holiday
Saints
of Halloween
Bloody Night.
was more or less unknown in Sweden at the time.
Emily, could you leave that for the
Flashback.
Well, I told you I was going to tell
Stay
you.
linear, bro.
I do have a pro wrestler as piece of info in here for you.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Surprise me.
You're going to know it, I think, once I tell it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're now finally at Haddonfield, 1978. That's where we're at in the movie. We see Jamie Lee Curtis leaving home, and their dad tells her that she needs to drop off a key at the old Myers place because he's a realtor. She's walking there, and Tommy comes along.
That's the key.
That's why he fixates on her.
I thought he was
Unless-
dropping a key off.
He also
Okay.
fixates on her because they yell at him when he's driving by.
Is it first said that he's a
So
sister
she's
in
not
2?
a
She's a
drug
sister
mule?
in 2 or 4?
2.
2. Okay.
Okay.
He starts the sister thing in 2.
So, do you think it's his sister?
No, not in the first one. And John Carpenter has said he never intended for that. So
Because he almost seems to fixate more on Annie.
he does
When
because
he
she's the
sees
one
her
that
undressed.
yells at him too. She's
I
the
feel
one
like
that's
he saw his
she's
naked
the one that
sister.
says speed kills.
Yeah. But he saw his naked sister, and then he sees Annie because she gets butter on herself and strips down in the kitchen.
Jesus, we'll
He
get
sees her
to it.
wrong.
Like
Yeah.
Kramer in the episode.
In Kramer versus Kramer.
Well, this is one of those movies that's fun to like. There's been so much lore that came after the original thing that it's like.
Well, someone wrote a book like
is
before
that in-
the movie.
Is that in 5? Is that in 7?
They wrote a book called Halloween.
7 is
Yeah,
H2O.
yeah. Because 8 is wasn't with Buster Rhymes.
Buster Rhymes.
I
How
love that
many
one.
have
I
had
don't even fucking care.
And that's the
Jamie
last.
Lee and-
Is 8 the last one before the
1, 2,
2018?
H2O.
Is 2018
and then
like 9?
she was at the beginning of Resurrection, and then she's in the new the 3 like reboot.
It's the most convoluted.
Well,
I
no,
could
it's
do-
not really. It's not
franchise.
convoluted.
Halloween Kills.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is way more convoluted than
I
the
could
Halloween
get 10
franchise.
minutes into
There
Halloween
are three.
Kills.
There are 3 like. I think there are only 2 directions that this one goes. It goes in the curse way or like regular stops
Texas
and then
Chainsaw
starts
is just
over.
like, let's have the fucked up family do this.
Okay, let's just. We're in. She's dropping the key off. He sees her. She drops the
Tommy
key off. She
comes
leaves.
up and
Oh yeah, she's babysitting him that tonight for Halloween.
he sees somebody. And
Imagine having her as your babysitter.
I wouldn't care because everyone thought she was a hermaphrodite then.
yeah, I really did think that.
She didn't really think. I
She
don't
gets
think
a big
she's that
old
hot in that.
hermaphrodite
I don't think
titties.
she's that hot in that movie. She does have good tits in Trading Places.
Trading Places, I was about to say.
I'm sorry, yeah.
So she starts singing this song to herself. I wish I had you all alone.
Yeah,
and
she
Michael
made
Myers
that
was
up.
watching her.
She made that song
It was
up.
cute.
Yeah.
And then we see
Feelings.
Loomis with the asylum director, and he's yelling.
He's always
He's like, I tried to
yelling
tell
about shit.
you what was wrong.
He's mad in
He's
every
mad.
single
He's
one of these
always
movies.
like,
so mad, yeah.
A 5-year-old could have got through those roadblocks. And then we see Jamie Lee in class, and the teacher's talking about Costain and Samuels on Fate. And even though Jamie Lee sees Michael Myers out of the window, then when she gets asked a question, which she answers correctly, I was like, good on you, girl. She looks back and he's gone. Then we see little Tommy getting bullied, and the kids are like, the boogeyman's coming, the boogeyman's coming. And they smash his pumpkin. He like falls on the pumpkin.
No, he
so-
falls on it. Yeah, it's a mess.
Poor guy. Then Michael Myers, like,
Michael Myers
Tommy's
grabs
running
the
off.
bully.
Michael Myers grabs him, but then just lets him
No,
go.
grabs the bully. He grabs the bully.
He grabs the bully? No, the bully.
I thought he did. Yeah, he does.
Well, he drives really slowly next to Tommy, who's walking home with his head down. And then we see Loomis on a payphone with the Haddonfield police, like, there'll be a massacre if you don't listen to me. That's on you,
Yeah,
bitch.
he sounds really sane all the time.
He sees the sign that says Haddonfield 73 miles away, which, if it's not a big city, I don't see why there'd be a sign for it that far away.
One of the best ways to get people to pay attention to you is to just be screaming and pissed off all the time.
Yeah.
It either works or it doesn't. You know?
People are like,
It
"Ah,
works at first.
It works
and
for
then,
you, Emily. That's how you get us here on time.
Well,
But so Loomis is 73 miles away, and he just happens to stop at the phone where Michael Myers has killed the truck driver. He
killed the
doesn't. He
truck driver,
misses
yeah.
the body, but he finds the truck and sees the matchbook and sees like the linens from the
he does
asylum.
not see the dead guy.
He
though,
does
which
not
is
see the dead dude.
Weird.
He's learned how to do a lot of different things while being locked up for 15 years.
Yeah, well, I guess he just like paid a lot of attention because he didn't talk. So
So then we see Lori and Linda,
Did
who's
a lot of
PJ
active
Souls,
listening.
rock and roll high school baby, and see Uncle Sam, I guess. And then we see Annie, and she's like, "Why didn't you guys wait for me?" And Annie is so cute.
Because we
and
don't like you.
we find out Paul's grounded, and Jamie Lee's like, "I forgot my book," and she acts like she's gonna go back, but then she sees Michael Myers, and he's driving the car fast, so Annie yells something about slow speed kills, asshole, or something like that, and the car stops, and they're like, "Oh shit!"
It's amazing he could
And
drive
you're-
that car.
And you're gonna get us fucking killed with your mouth, but he ends up going on.
Could you imagine driving that car with one of those masks on?
They thought it was somebody they went to high school with.
I mean,
no, I think they just were yelling at somebody.
Linda's like, "I think that guy's dreamy," and Lori's like, "I don't think that was him, dude."
Oh yeah, you're right.
So Linda, does that mean Linda would cheat on Bob? No, who cares? Well, we find out that Linda is gonna come over to where Annie is babysitting to fuck her boyfriend, even though her boyfriend owns like a huge fucking van made for fucking. It probably has a bed in the back of the van.
That's true.
It's like, why are you gonna go fuck at some little girl's house when you have a perfectly good van?
Sorry.
do you think it had a bumper
It's a stabbing
sticker
wagon,
on
man.
it?
If this van's a rockin', don't come a knockin'. Bob, use your van better.
Get a bumper sticker, guy.
No.
But no, they're just gonna go to where Annie's babysitting to fuck.
Yeah, they're going to talk about fucking taking Lindsay's clothes off.
Then Linda, Linda gets home. Jamie Lee and Annie are still walking, and Jamie Lee sees Michael Myers behind some shrubs, and she's like, "Oh shit, that's the guy that you yelled at." But
I
when
wanna say that's
Annie
a
goes
nice
to check,
hedge.
there's nothing there. There's
It is.
I
nothing.
would just say that's a nice hedge.
Yeah.
Whoever was doing the yard work for those people.
It's a nice neighborhood.
It's a
really nice
nicely
neighborhood.
done
Yeah.
hedge.
Can you imagine how much those houses cost today?
God.
They were like probably actual families
Also, they're
living
in
there.
California, so super expensive. But one of them was dilapidated. I think it was the.
Oh, the Myers house is
Yeah.
dilapidated.
Yeah.
But somebody's coming to look at it, which we never see that. So
Well,
Annie gets
I
home.
do like a box hedge though.
Yeah, me too.
And then Jamie
I
Lee bumps
guess.
into the sheriff. We get our first of a few sheriff scares. Or as I later say, or wrote down, share scare.
Oh, like sheriff. Okay, I get it.
I also
Sheriff
got-
scare.
These
What
Halloween
if it was
movies,
like shared? She's like, step out of it.
when I write torters or torting, it means trick or treaters or trick or treating. It just says torters for T.
Why do you write that so many times?
Because I have to write a shit
Don't
ton.
have to write
Share
that
scare?
And do you think I want to write out trick or treating like 20 times
or
during
T. I
fucking
can see why you
Jacko?
write T or T.
T or T is trick or treating. Torters.
You could have write TRT. Actually, you
we
could
see
have done
some
that.
torters.
Mike,
Well, this
do you
way I
have a
don't have
good
to have an
share
apostrophe.
impression?
Sure.
Do you have a good share impression? Step out of it.
Man, I saw this picture of her in
That's
a
not a good thing you can talk
chainmail.
about.
No, she's in a chainmail halter top, and you can kind of see her nipples through it. That shit was hot as fuck.
Yeah, that's not a
She
share
was
impression.
barely
If I could
clothed throughout.
turn back time.
Do you remember when you were singing "Believe" but about pillows? Do you believe the pillows have souls? Because
I
you
said
said
that.
you said Courtney killed a pillow. You said Courtney killed a pillow, and Nick was like, "Do you think pillows have souls?" And you're like, "Some of them maybe."
Courtney from
Summer Party
I haven't
Massacre.
listened to
I
that one
can't
yet.
do without sounding like Kermit the Frog.
Do you believe in love?
Should we
after
talk shit
love?
about Nick since he never listens?
He
He's
won't listen
Is he
to it,
here?
yeah.
Fuck
He
him.
won't. Yeah. No, he
Who?
won't.
He's got some recording
He
to
never
do.
listens.
He's training
No,
a
he's
drummer.
training somebody. Like I didn't even
Oh.
know he knew how to play drums.
He doesn't.
That's why I don't understand what's
there-
happening.
I think training your drummer means you're
you're playing
practicing
with
with your
him?
drummer so he knows y'all's cues and shit.
Is he in that band now? Then I don't understand.
Yeah, he's been recording with him and shit. The Loynettes.
But he doesn't say it's his band.
Oh, he doesn't like it when we say his band's names.
I don't care. He doesn't. He will not say that's his band though. That's his friend's band that he is in because everyone left the band. I
He
don't know.
said last week to us while we were smoking cigarettes in between episodes, he said, I've got 2 bands now.
Oh, he did say that. Okay, well then I guess he's a member.
I think he's in it.
You know what else? I just say jealousy and anger aren't a good look on either of you?
I love Nick, and
Okay,
I
tell
want
it to
his-
your faces.
I'm really happy that he's like got his creative outlets. Like he's passionate about his.
But he puts us last.
He's
so
but
that's
he's been
fine.
doing this shit for a long time,
Yeah.
way before Gag
If anybody
Me.
should be pissed, it should be me. I'm the one who has to
Yeah.
fucking sit here
Ben's
and
gotta
do
watch
this shit.
Jacko.
while I'm fucking-
Oh, you enjoyed watching Jacko.
It's fun, dude. It's fun, but it's dumb fun. It's like we're not there yet where we were our last week.
It wasn't bad.
I think
What
this
about the movie
episode
was
should be
good?
the
You
Halloween
enjoyed it?
episode. The closest fucking.
Okay, I don't know. Can you just if we don't talk about
It's
the
yes.
other one, it
We
won't
don't-
matter.
we-
We could put them.
We
at,
don't
we could-
have to run the whole plot of Halloween down,
The
though,
thing
I don't
is,
think.
the
Because
thing
everybody
is, we
knows
could
the
switch
movie.
them
It's
if
fun.
you didn't talk about it, as if it was coming out after. But you already have,
No, it's
so now
behind
it
the
is.
scenes.
No, you already said it.
Oh yes, I got my way.
No, you said it was coming out after, so it's coming out after now. You got opposite of your way.
Wait, Jacko's coming out last.
That's what you said
Sorry,
earlier.
guys. I
Can we
tried.
talk about Jamie Lee Curtis's outfit that she's wearing when she's born?
She looks-
It's a skirt.
It's like
and,
schoolboy, the skirt.
Yeah, but she has
Penny
the
loafers.
socks
Cute.
are all the way up to the skirt.
Can we talk about what Annie's socks later? Panty and yellow
that's
socks combo.
Can you we can if you'll get to the part in the movie.
Okay, so yeah, there's a share scare. There's some torters, trick or treaters. Now
Share
Jamie Lee's
scare.
at home, and then she sees him out of the window, but she looks back and he's gone. So the phone rings, and there's nobody there. So we're like, oh shit, Michael Myers knows how to use a telephone, even though he's
Hey,
been
you figured that out
incarcerated
too.
since
You
6.
figured out how to drive a
But
5-speed.
she gets scared. He calls back if it's actually Linda, right?
It's him calling on his car phone like,
You can
hey,
double
man,
clutch
pick you up
it.
later.
Is it
truck.
Annie or is it Laney
can
calling to
use
say
a
she's about to pick him
phone.
up? Pick her
Annie,
up?
He hasn't
Or is it
Annie
spoken a word in
calls.
15
Annie-
years,
Annie's
but
like
he learned how to
chewing.
use a phone.
No, it's not him. It's Annie.
So Annie, she gets a phone call from Annie. Annie had her mouth full, so she couldn't talk.
Yeah.
She's going to pick her up.
So
Jamie
she's
Lee's
not
walking
okay.
with a quilt and a pumpkin.
She was just
And
saying
Annie
she's gonna
picks
pick
her
She
up,
was
just like
eating.
she said. And there's this song, it's like, sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la. And they start smoking a joint. We see Loomis. The first place he goes in Haddonfield, it's not to the cops. He goes to the cemetery where
Yeah.
Judith is buried for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, that's just tangential to... But the...
I thought he already
fucking-
called the cops though.
The groundskeepers, I like him.
But
He
it-
starts trying to tell Loomis a story about a guy that killed his family with a hacksaw, but Loomis cuts him off.
Yeah, because they get
It's
to
like-
there's a place
Maybe that was
where
going to be like the next Halloween.
well they get
'Cause it
to
was
where
originally gonna
there's
be
an
an anthology,
empty
right?
well no because they get to where there's a tombstone that's been taken.
Yes, and it's
he's
Judith
like and
Myers'
it's Judith
tombstone.
Myers.
Boom, boom, boom.
So then Donald Pleasance is like, oh well he's for sure here now.
That's that.
The blood will be on everyone's hands.
This is when we get
That's how psychiatry works.
Jamie
Yes.
Lee and Annie are now listening to Boys to Cult, puffing on a doob.
Yeah, doobie.
And Michael Myers is like on their ass. They don't notice because they're getting high, but he's like driving behind them. And then across the street, like further down the street, Annie sees her dad, the sheriff.
Because there's a hard store that's
Just
been
because you
broken
see your
into.
dad doesn't mean you have to go say hi when you're burning one down. They could have fucking made the right turn.
They had stopped traffic because
He was at the hardware store.
yeah,
they had to pull up to the hardware store.
that's because they had stopped traffic.
turn around.
Because there was an alarm going off because someone, it was Michael Myers, had broken into the hardware store and stolen a knife and a mask. And so he thought it was kids. And
Just
she says,
teenagers. Halloween fun.
you think it's kids always. And then she asks him what he's saying because the alarm's still going off and he screams and the alarm stops going off. And then she goes, he's loud too.
I like stop traffic as an expression when you're like, no duh.
No, like stop
Or
traffic.
doy.
No, or like, I'm for
It's-
real right now. Like stop
I
traffic.
still am under the
When
impression they
someone
did
says
not
something
have
you
to
and you're
talk.
Like, wait, stop
If I
traffic.
had been smoking a joint and there were cops at the fucking hardware store, I would keep on driving. I wouldn't.
I
I'd wave at my
I
dad.
think her dad stopped her. I think he like flagged her down.
Yeah. She was
Well,
like, get
stop
rid of it,
traffic
get rid of it.
because she did.
It doesn't really
so.
matter. I just said what happened. She said he's loud too. Then they leave. He never knew. Jamie Lee Curtis is kind of afraid that he smelled it, but oh well.
So
The
right
end.
after
Stop
the girls
traffic.
drive off,
Emily's being impatient.
Hold the phone.
Loomis shows up right after the girls, and he's trying to talk to the sheriff and make him think like, yeah, I'm right. I'm not crazy. I'm a psychiatrist.
Yeah,
This is my
he's really
patient.
bad
He's
at that,
dangerous.
but
Yeah, he's like, he reminds me of Tid.
Tid.
And Just Before Yawn.
just God.
Because he's like,
Because that guy's drunk the whole time.
you
though.
catch more flies with honey than vinegar. Like, if you're just like, okay, there is a fucking killer on the loose.
Yeah.
But he's like, he's an evil. You don't know what lurks behind his eyes.
Yeah.
It's like, dude,
He's
if
like,
you just like,
you don't know about this
if you
eyes. It
didn't
like,
call
just
it-
goes into this like fucking
Ted's
diatribe about
calling
shit.
the killer twins demons.
Well, everybody
It's
saw it. and
fat
it was like,
twins.
you're the bad guy from James Bond, so I'm not gonna listen to you.
I've never seen a James Bond movie. Which one's he in?
He hasn't seen one.
You haven't seen a single
getting
James
He hasn't
Bond?
seen
I'm
a
getting a
single
look.
one.
Never a single one. I played the game. I played
Oh, GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
Yeah, I know you played GoldenEye.
It's a Perfect Dark even, which
My-
isn't James Bond.
I don't know which one's
Florida.
Donald Sutherland's
Ben's
in.
divorcing me.
Donald
Was he
Pleasance.
married to you?
We're married to
Donald
be homies.
Pleasance.
He just said you were divorcing him, so I didn't know that y'all had gotten married.
Well, you know,
Well, it was just for the medical benefits.
Oh,
it's because we're taking over the
that's
podcast,
two
Emily.
sitting here.
With our forces to combine.
Yeah, we're gonna unionize against you.
This is my house now.
I don't care. Good,
out.
take it and fucking.
I've got to wake up early for work tomorrow, where I'll be out of school.
There's gonna be a
'Cause I've got a
wildcat
new
strike
job.
Have
in the
fun with
middle
that
of this
job.
I'm gonna
episode.
get a bunch of William Shatner levels of plastic surgery to look like you.
Y'all fucked up.
I'm
I mean,
obsessed, bro.
Also, you have to lose weight and be shorter and like cut off your
I've
legs.
lost a little weight. Do you know in
I'm not saying
2020
you're
I
fat.
got up
I'm
to
just
300
saying like you're
pounds?
not my
I
size.
got up to
What?
300 pounds. I did spend $56
How
on
do you
fear
know
food
that?
to do that.
How do you know you got over 300?
Because he weighed himself.
Because I went to the doctor and they weighed me. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, 'cause
They're like 307. I'm like, oh, shit.
One time when I went
you
to the
didn't know
doctor, I
because
was
you didn't
like-
like that wasn't on a home scale.
280.
No. When I went to the
that
doctor
was
once, I was
half
So
like,
that
the
came as a
doctor.
complete
I had
surprise
clothes
to you.
on. Yeah.
one time I
That's
went
like
and I was
303.
What did
like,
you think it was going to come in at when they
I thought it was
first
going to be like
put you on?
292.
that's not
I
that
felt
far
like
from
that's
3.
8.
I felt 10 pounds
Pounds
heavier.
off.
Like 280 is normally my higher limit.
Man, you can lose 8
know?
pounds
I'm
in
gonna
a
kill
week
myself.
by
For
like,
years, I was like between 260 and 280. But when I heard 307, I'm
Keep it-
thinking like, yeah, my
No,
fat
one time
wallet,
when I went
that's-
there, they
that's a
told me my
pound.
weight, and I was like, "Is this right?" And they were like, "This is
like-
a doctor's office."
You're,
And I
it's
was
like your
I-
machine's broken, bitch.
I was like, I don't
you
think
just
this
nurse,
is
get
right.
the real doctor in
And then it
here.
was one of those ones where you do the thing. They were like, "This is a doctor's office," and I was like, "Okay, I guess
Yeah,
you are right."
I was like, hey, I got to take my shoes off real quick and my
Yeah, I need
watch
to
and
take
my
every
belt
single
and my
thing
off of my
keys,
body.
my wallet.
It's like, I should have taken a shit before I stepped on this fucking thing.
Okay, where are we?
I'm finding it. Be natural. Okay,
Yep,
so Loomis comes up to the sheriff right after the girls pull
We
off.
already talked
and
about this.
We see Michael Myers driving past Loomis with his back
He's
turned.
still driving around.
He's still driving around
In
chasing
that
the girls,
mask.
and the girls
How
are
the fuck can he see through the eye slits in that mask?
They're pretty
girls are
big.
completely oblivious.
No one gives a
It's
shit.
like if the girls got into his periphery, he wouldn't be able to see them.
There's no
No,
way he
no.
has any peripheral vision in that
No,
mask
no.
at all. That's a
But maybe
danger.
he wasn't wearing his mask while he was driving. I don't fucking
I'm
know.
saying that's a danger
Just-
So Annie drops Lori
to
off,
society.
and Michael Myers is watching Annie enter the Wallace house. He is fixated on Annie, I think. It's not, yeah. Jamie Lee's not the sister, or he'd be fixated on her.
it's not. That's not
Annie's
a plot line. in
Annie's the
first one,
sister.
so- That's not a plot line in this movie. So move on.
Yes, ma'am.
That's in the second one, and John Carpenter did not intend for that to happen.
I want to know how many people he killed in the car before he started slicing them up with knives.
What are you talking about?
He definitely
He
killed that
can't
one guy to
see
get the.
through that mask
oh,
to
you mean
drive
like
that
they
car.
have vehicular manslaughter?
Vehicular homicide.
He got the clothes off that one guy.
Anyway,
Okay, Ben Tramer. Oh, Annie
you haven't
shows
even
up.
talked about Ben Tramer yet.
Annie shows up to the Wallace house, and the parents leave, and then the sheriff and Loomis go to the Myers place, and there's a dead dog in there. We get a window scare where upstairs.
Oh,
where
he says that he's been eating. He's been feasting on the dog.
yeah, Michael Myers just
Yeah,
eats
eats
raw
dogs.
dog. You've heard of
Yeah,
raw
raw
dog. It's not what you
dogs.
think. He's not like hitting it from the
No,
back.
he,
He's
like,
just eating a
fucking
fucking dog.
Dogs, yeah.
Have you ever had dog?
And it's not the only dog death in this fucking thing. So how does this? Okay,
Not
so
in
they
real
go
life. The
upstairs.
animal trainer of the Wallace's
They go
German
upstairs.
Shepherd killed it.
So they
Just
go
what I
upstairs,
do,
right?
right?
And they're in the room, Judith's room, the room where it happened. And this fucking metal thing just hits the window while they're in there and scares the shit out of Loomis. He draws his gun, makes the cop think he's crazy.
Yeah.
But like, why would that happen?
Quick Draw McGraw. I don't know.
Why
because
would
it's
the
a-
fucking
it's a
pipe
horror-
hit the
it's just a
window?
horror movie, probably.
Also, he's got it's a big piece.
You're only on the first. Let's just.
There's only 2 pages, dog.
It's kind of a big gun.
I took more. Like,
I'll tell you what kind of gun it is.
So this
when I
movie's an hour and a
find
half
out
long.
I do know what kind of gun it is.
I
yeah.
feel like with the better made horrors, like, you have to take less notes. Like, the time is just filled better. Like, with bad movies, like, all this dumb shit happens that doesn't need to. With this movie of this caliber,
Which is
like,
weird
it's
why
so
we can't get through
streamlined.
this movie
See,
that we're only near the
no,
first
it's because
30
we're
minutes.
talking about, like, dumb shit. Like we always do, and that's why people love us. Gag Me with the Knife Squad.
People, that's questionable.
Well, 13 of them or so. Love you guys. So
That's an unlucky number. We would need one of y'all to unsubscribe.
It's 12, actually.
we've got a Loomis diatribe about, like, the devil's eyes. He's got the devil's eyes.
It's like Rosemary's Baby, but he just, like, fitted into this movie.
Yeah, pretty
I
much.
can't see his eyes!
His eyes.
Donald Pleasance is a weird
Man,
looking dude.
I wish a
He's got
Patreon-
buggy eyeballs.
I wish a
Yeah.
Patreon
He
would
is one
pick.
to talk about fucking people's eyes.
You know what I mean? Like, he's got buggy eyeballs. He's
Yeah.
screaming. He's mad the whole time. And then he's like, no one will pay attention to me.
Would it be cool if Loomis was actually the killer?
I guess, but it's not that.
I mean, he...
I would like a Patreon to pick their movie
You
to be
cannot
Rosemary's
tell
Baby.
them
If
to
you'd like.
pick shit.
I'd love to do Rosemary's Baby, is all I'm saying. So Loomis is going to stay there all night or some shit.
Spoiler alert, it's
Then we
the
see
devil's
Tommy and Jamie
kid.
Lee.
I know,
Lori. She's reading some King Arthur, and he's like, I'm tired of King Arthur. Let's read Dynamite Man or Nuclear Man or Tarantula Man.
Those are all like Howard
Comic
the
books.
Duck comic books, actually.
Oh, were
First
they
of all,
Howard the
yeah.
Duck?
What is King Arthur?
King Arthur is a legendary king of England.
No, I know that, but
After the
that's-
Romans left,
there's
and there
no
were
book
Anglo and
called
Saxon
King Arthur.
invasions. King Arthur.
There's
They say he was like a
okay,
Roman.
he knows who he is. Never mind, move on.
There's no book called King Arthur.
It's a comic book. They're reading a comic.
No, they were reading actual like a King Arthur book.
There's
which
not a
used to
book
be
called
Tommy's.
King Arthur.
The way you're
There
saying
are
it,
lots of books about
Mike, it
King
sounds
Arthur.
like you're saying King Arthur wrote it, like a King Arthur book. Like I was
It's a-
reading a Stephen King book
It's a
at the
book
beach.
of legends.
I was reading a
about
King Arthur book at the beach.
What else do you call a book about King Arthur?
There's only one original one.
No, man, it's like a legend cycle, and lots of authors have covered
Yeah,
it.
that.
Are you talking about like Howard Pyle's treatments? Or?
What?
Now on Gag Me with a Knife, it's
you
time for
talking
King
about,
Arthur
dude?
Hour, where we discuss the round table and its doings.
Can you move on? I hate this. Okay.
About Avonlea. Okay.
There was a guy that wrote it. It was one book. That's where the legend
There's
started.
lots of King Arthur books. Dude, we got a whole Arthurian legend box at the bookstore.
Oh, word?
Come
Say
down to
word?
K's, buy some used DVDs,
you have
Can you
CDs,
not?
video games, and
Can
more.
we move on?
Do you have the first one?
So, Annie calls. Lester's handsome. Oh, Lester. Lester's the dog.
Yeah, he died. The animal trainer
There's a
killed
bark-
him. His animal, like in real life. I know it's sad. I
Like-
just had to tell you.
For the movie?
No, afterwards.
Like,
He
right
murdered.
after this movie?
He murdered him. Yeah.
Fuck. So there's
sorry.
this. Annie's on the
Fucking
phone, and
dogs.
this beautiful dog, majestic German Shepherd, starts
got murdered.
barking, and Annie's kind of being a dick to him. It's like, Lindsay, get your dog. But I think he's a handsome guy. Lindsay's watching either Forbidden Planet. I think it's just Forbidden Planet at this point. It'll
Yes,
be
it
the
is.
thing from another planet later. We hear the Ben Tramer talk. Yay, Ben Tramer. Lori's about to get fucked the next day. And then
Except for
Tommy.
he dies in the second one.
Tommy sees the boogie. So if him and Lori were better at communication and could like get past the buzzword of it all, like he's talking about the same shit she's been seeing all fucking day, and it just never occurs to her like the boogeyman is the shape she's seen 3 or 4 times at this point. And you think if I was seeing a boogeyman and some kid's like, I'm seeing a boogeyman, I'd be like, dude, I'm seeing a boogeyman too. What the fuck? What the
Yeah.
fuck?
See, when I think of boogie, I'm thinking of
Boogers?
well, no, because
You mean like Boogie Woogie?
yeah, I mean
The
like
music type?
the boogeyman, like that sounds like
I'm
the
the
guy I'd like to hang out with.
Yeah, the boogeyman.
Boom, boom,
The,
boom,
the wrestler that
boom,
eats worms.
boom, boom.
Anyway,
So-
He likes to boogie. He's the boogeyman.
Tommy sees him, then he's gone. This is where we get the first Mikey vision with breathing, like the Stalker vision with the breathing,
Yeah.
which is a Black Christmas thing
Black
too,
Christmas.
right?
Yeah,
they
the
did
beginning
it.
of Black Christmas.
Black Christmas did it.
Black Christmas
And
did it first.
we see Annie spill butter on herself, and
Okay,
her
here we
fine
go.
ass strips.
Just let him do
She
what
just
he wants
robs
to
in
do
the
for
kitchen,
next
and
fucking
Mike
5 minutes.
sees it. And I
Mike,
really
are
think
you calling him Mike?
Mikey
You
Do you
called him
think it
Mike?
was
M&M is what I wrote
salted
down.
butter or unsalted butter?
salted. Andy's going for the finer things in life.
You gotta go for something.
I mean, if you're gonna have the cholesterol, you might as well have the sodium too.
You can keep it out of the fridge too.
Ranch seasoning
It's
and
always
lemon
spreadable.
pepper. You put lemon pepper on it and ranch seasoning. That shit is bomb ass.
Salted butter. You can keep.
I'll
out
take
of
popcorn
spreadable.
anyway, but sweet.
I
don't
like
sweet.
kettle corn. I like kettle corn.
Kettle corn, camel corn.
I don't like caramel corn.
Popcorn's bad for my teeth, but I feel like sweet popcorn is doubly bad for my teeth.
Probably, you're probably right.
And I don't have a whole lot left.
Especially
so
caramel.
I'm trying to stay away from
Do you
soda and
remember
candy.
though, way back in the day, like 15 years ago, when we were first friends, and you told us one time that you were just trying to ruin your teeth because you wanted them to all fall out, so you could just go ahead and get dentures.
Well,
That was your fucking plan.
A
What's your
dentist,
fucking
a
plan?
It's
dentist
not a
had
bad
told me
plan.
that that's what I needed to do.
It's not.
He
a bad
didn't
plan at
realize
all.
that I was 25, and I was like, "What's the cheapest option for me to
How
fix my
old do you
teeth?" He
think
said,
you
"You should get dentures." I don't know. There was also
That's
a
not how I told the
prostitute
story.
that I lost a lot of money at this whorehouse in Paris one time because I thought it was a strip club and it was a whorehouse. And when I told the nice whore, there was a nice whore and
Okay, sex worker.
the nice
sex,
one.
sex
the nice
worker.
sex worker. Also
As opposed to the
2006.
mean one.
She was like, "You're only 25. I thought you were 40." I
I
was
thought
like,
they were
"Thanks,
all
lady."
supposed to be nice. Isn't that the point?
Well, this is a long story, and I'm not going to get into it here.
Yes, you are.
You're
Do you
already in
wanna-
the
you
middle.
guys
You're in the
wanna hear
middle
this?
of it.
You want to hear the story? So I was at
I didn't
a.
say yes or no. You're
Not really.
It was my first time in Paris. Last time in Paris. First time in Paris. I was trying to walk from my hostel on Montmartre to the Louvre, which I didn't realize was like a fucking 5-mile walk. I should have just taken the goddamn subway. But I'm walking. This fucking crazy rainstorm happens, right? I didn't know it, but I'm in Pigalle. I'm about halfway there. I'm in Pigalle, which is one of the oldest red light districts in Paris.
Is that in?
I didn't realize that. And I like, it's raining, cats and dogs. There's a McDonald's there. I'm like, I don't care how much it's raining. I'm not going to this fucking McDonald's. It's my first day in Paris. So right past the McDonald's, this Turkish guy's like, "Come here, buddy." He's smoking a cigarette, and he gives me a cigarette, right? And I see pictures of titties on the outside wall. And it's like, okay, there's a strip club. This Turkish guy's being nice to me. He's like, "You come in, pay €5 for a beer, and you get to
Euros.
You get to see
When
the
was
girls."
the first time you went to France? Like
2006. This was in 2006.
I feel like I'm sorry. I thought this story was happening a long time ago when you were like a little kid.
No, they wouldn't let me into
I
a
was picturing it was
whorehouse
like a
if I was
14-year-old
Yeah, they
kid.
would. You were like 14. Yeah, they would.
Well, I was 25.
Okay, anyway.
I shouldn't have let you in then either.
And
No, they shouldn't have.
So-
They didn't know that he was
so
the
this
worst
guy's,
person.
I didn't have any euros. Like, I was like freshly in Europe. It was like day 8 of 80 days in Europe. Like
And
a
you still
summer
didn't have,
abroad.
you still hadn't exchanged your money.
Exactly.
What were you using?
Or I had some,
What
like,
were
I
you, yeah, what were you
I
Do you
spent
have
a
an
week in
American
Florence and
Express?
Rome.
Did you not leave home without it?
I'd spent a week in Florence and Rome, but I was just like using like ATMs and shit. So this guy's like, I was like, "Dude, I don't even have €5. I got $3 American bucks." And he's like, "For $3 American, you can have a beer and see the girls wait for the rain. I'll get you a mat." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I go in this place, and this really beautiful Parisian lady comes and sits next to me while I'm drinking my beer. And
How do you know she was Parisian?
okay, French woman.
Well, you know,
And she's
How
like,
do you know she was
she's like,
Belgian.
"Will you buy me a drink?" And I'm just thinking, yeah, it's like €8, whatever, €10.
but you didn't have any.
I didn't realize that
And you had
buying a drink for this lady was buying a sexual favor. There was a list
You
on
didn't
the
have
wall that I didn't look
You
at.
didn't have any
I didn't-
euros. You just gave me
I had a
$3.
card.
You weren't hip to the lingo.
I had a card, a
Oh,
credit
okay.
card,
Okay.
and
Why? Yeah.
so I'm talking to this
Charging
lady.
it to the
I bought
game.
her a drink. I think I maybe even bought her a second drink, and I'm like thinking.
You bought more than that.
So another girl comes over.
Yeah, you wasted a
Start
lot of money
like
buying
they're
drinks
putting
for...
their hands on my hands on them. I'm like, this isn't a strip club. You're not supposed to touch the girls. They're like putting my hand on their crotch and stuff.
You got to go to Montreal.
And they're like, "Will you buy us a bottle of champagne?"
That's
And I was like,
that's like
I
anal?
just said
Is that like
yes.
anal sex
So
or
I just said
something?
yes. No, it was
yeah,
a,
what's that the metaphor
I
for?
paid. So
It's a euphemism for...
That's
I'm
like
pretty
anal,
sure it
like
would have been a
anal.
threesome with 2 hot French girls.
Oh, hey, all right.
So I bought them a bottle of champagne, right? They bring me a bill, and it said, it looked like 220, but there was a line in the middle. The line in the middle meant the 2s were 7s. So I was going to pay €770, which was like all of my money, all of my travel money for the next 72 days, right? So I give them my card. It wouldn't work there. They're like, we need to go to the exchange down the street. And I'm like, kind of confused. And I'm like, okay. So I go with them to this Cambia place, and I left my backpack that had my passport in the fucking strip club or the whorehouse, right?
It's a
not realizing
place.
that something really bad was about to happen. So we get to the Cambia place, and the guy hands me a bill, and it says 770 euros. I think it was like 800 euros because they were getting a little money for the exchange. And I was like, no, like I can't do this. I can't fucking do this. And then I realized, like, I don't have my bag or my passport. That shit is in their establishment. So
and I'm losing 60 cents on the dollar trading to the euro.
And dude, the euro was strong at this point. This was like $1,200.
Oh yeah, man.
You know?
They had us beat for a long time.
So I was like crying, like, no, I can't do this. Like, I'm 25 years old. This is like I've got to be in Europe. Like I'm going to school like in a few weeks. And like the guy that talked me in there was like, I'll take my cut off. It came exactly to 666 euros. If it had been any other number, I would have kept bitching. It came out to 666 euros. I just signed my fucking name, crying, alligator, like these big tears. Like we go back, and I just like freak the fuck out. If I found out later, if I put UD anywhere written on there, it would have meant under duress, and I would have been able to say no, that's not okay for them to charge me this. I didn't know that at the time.
Where you been?
If you're ever being,
you know somebody
if you
in
ever
the
feel like
State
you're being
Department?
pressured into doing something, and you just even make the smallest anything that could be construed as a U and
I'm
D,
putting UD under every.
Everything.
no, it's got to be something
everything
like
is
this.
under duress.
But
Yeah, I wouldn't pay for anything.
I'm always under duress, and the story's almost over. We
I
go
hope
back.
so, because this is like we're at fucking almost an hour.
We go back to the place. I'm crying. They're like, come back and sleep with us. I'm like, no, I thought this was a strip club. I didn't know that that's what was happening. Look, come with me. We'll take this money. I'll buy the champagne and replace the drinks. I'll even buy another. I would like offer to go with them to buy the alcohol to replace it. And they gave me like 200 euros and told me to get the fuck out of the door because the boss was coming. And so I walked the rest of the way in non-raining Paris to the Louvre crying. Some dude tried to sell me hash. I'm like, I don't have any
So
money.
the moral of the story is you lost like $500 and didn't get laid at a whorehouse in France.
I couldn't get up.
You paid $500 to not get banged.
No, I just cried to the Louvre, called my parents. I was like, I fucked up. I'm a mark.
Mike, we need to go to Montreal, man.
Okay,
Man,
moving on to the movie, please.
Okay.
We are never going to finish this. We're at an hour.
Let's blast through this classic movie because I was talking about the time I lost all that money.
Everyone's seen this movie, so you really don't need to like hit it that hard.
Well, if y'all would stop interrupting me. Okay.
I think you should have hit hard were those whores in Paris that
No,
you paid $500 to.
I really resent myself for not fucking those bros.
Yeah, I mean,
I was so
would too.
upset. You can't understand how upset I was.
No, I can, because
I'm
you
upset
didn't
right now
fuck
just
them.
thinking about it. Hate fucked them. That's mean. So Annie just rubs in the kitchen, right? She hears Michael Myers like knock a pot a little bit, but she ignores it. And then the dog finds him and starts barking. She's like, God damn this dog. But then she hears a whimpering. She's like, I guess I found a guy's dead.
Every day.
Michael Myers is killing the dog. No.
Good job.
No, not good job. Trigger warning. Dog death. So then we see the beautiful thing that is the RKO beginning of a movie. And it's The Thing. Howard Hawks' The Thing from Another Planet.
My dad loves that movie. He doesn't like the remake, but he likes the original.
I love the remake and I love the original. And I love that they use it so
John
much.
Carpenter directed a remake of The Thing.
There's way more footage from the movie than you would expect. In like in other horror movies, you might see as flash.
Yeah, there's like no no copyright on it, I think.
So Lori and Tommy are talking about the boogeyman. She's like, nah, dude. And then it's time to make a jack-o'-lantern.
Oh my God, we're just here.
So Annie goes, we're halfway through the fucking
No,
movie.
we've got to get, I mean, it's like we're at
Well, saying this stuff is just taking up time, Emily. We know.
Okay, well, no, you don't, so go on.
You wanted me to tell the story.
I did.
Okay, so Annie goes to the laundry room. This is my favorite part of the movie, really. The door shuts, and she's like, what the fuck? Is that Paul? No, it's Michael Myers, bitch. Door shuts again by itself.
No, it's John and
So-
Ringo.
It was John and Ringo and Paul.
She closes the door, but when she does, she doesn't realize she's locking herself in. She's hollering for Lindsay because the phone's ringing and it's Paul.
Oh, Lindsay's going to help out.
But then
Lindsay does end up helping. I think she ends up.
Yeah.
She does end up.
Lindsay can't hear because she's on the TV, and there's this great
The
shot.
first person named Lindsay to ever help anyone else.
You see Annie
real
through
name.
the glass door, but behind her, through the other glass door on the opposite wall, is Michael Myers, like watching her. It's a great shot. And then Annie tries to get out the window, and her sweet ass gets stuck in there. And she finally gets Lindsay, or Lindsay answers the phone, and it's Paul. So Lindsay goes looking for her.
Yeah, she finds her.
And
out
she,
there.
like, Annie is stuck like a stepbrother porn in this window, and her cute little ass is just shaking, like, don't tell anybody about this. So she gets inside, Paul calls again, and immediately Lindsay's like, she just got stuck in the window. And we see Michael Myers in the background, Mikey Baby, and then Annie is unloading Lindsay on Jamie Lee Curtis because she's supposed to go get Paul. Michael Myers pops up again, like she's walking the kid. He just pops out from behind a car and nobody notices.
I want to say, honestly,
Peekaboo.
this sounds like the most boring fucking movie I've ever seen, even though I know it isn't.
Yeah, it works though on the screen.
Yeah, so let's.
So
I'm wondering what the X factor is.
Annie gets in
The
the car.
music.
It's the strangling of Annie in her car. It is brutal. It is beautiful in a disgusting way. Then he cuts her throat. But I think her performance is great in this. She lands on the horn, and it's like somebody should hear that, but they don't. But it's an amazing scene. And then we see Tommy and Lindsay are watching the thing, and Tommy tries to scare Lindsay. He's like
Scare.
behind. Yeah, he's
He's trying to score.
Lindsay kind of seemed like she wanted to score. Because Annie's
No,
like, do you
she
want to go
didn't.
watch
She's
the
like
movie
8.
with Tommy?
You remember that hot
She's like,
babysitter you
yeah.
lost your virginity to? That was me.
So
did not.
Tommy's behind the curtains, and he's like, Lindsay, I'm behind you. And he's like, he sees the shape, Michael Myers, carry Annie inside of the wall of this house. And he's trying to, he's like, starts screaming.
Into the wall.
He tries to tell Lori, but Lori doesn't believe him, even though she's been seeing shit all fucking day. And we see Loomis at the Myers place. There's too many L names in this fucking movie. We see Loomis at the Myers
it's like the
place.
Kardashians.
Watching the bullies. The bullies are like gonna try to like fuck
Every
with
time
the
I hear you
house.
say the name
But he's like,
Lindsay, I'm like,
Ricky, you better get your ass out of here.
Yeah.
He's not
Hey,
Australian,
Ricky.
but
Donald
and
Pleasance says
you can
it,
tell
yeah.
Donald Pleasance, Loomis derives a lot of pleasure in scaring these little kids away. But then the sheriff scares him, another sheriff scare. And then he starts doing his fancy talk. That's what the sheriff calls it, and I kind of agreed with him. You don't understand. And then we see Bobby and Linda drinking beer.
Fancy talk
and this
as in,
is
like,
where
medical
they talk
terms?
about ripping off
Just
Lindsay's
his accent, I
clothes,
think.
even though she's like 7 or something, and it's fucking weird. But Linda seems okay with it, I guess.
I don't think they were like being real about it. So let's move on.
I'll rip off your clothes and you rip off my clothes.
And they're
then
like,
we'll
"Well,
rip off
to
Lindsay's
Lindsay's clothes, ha ha."
She's like, yeah, that's
Okay.
a great plan. So, and this is where I wrote down, why don't they just fuck in that huge blue van that Bob has? They can't
Stupid
find
Bob.
Annie. Who cares? Let's just make out. Michael Myers is watching them. Lori and Tommy and Lindsay they have a jack-o'-lantern, and Jamie Lee looks out. She sees the van, so she knows that they're there now.
She talks to them.
So
on the
Linda
phone.
calls Lori, and then they start fucking. And there's a phone call there, and they take the phone off the hook, right? And the hook is on Bob's side of the bed there, right? So we see a shadow over them. Oh, it's Michael Myers. And then there's a jack-o'-lantern on the bedside table. Just like, who does that? They're post-coitus. They're
Nobody.
smoking in bed. And Bob goes to get a beer for Linda. And he says, don't get dressed. But then he
He's
goes
dressed.
downstairs and he's fully fucking dressed with his shoes on and his belt on. It's like, dude,
Well, what's
this
good
is
for
a
the-
mistake in
what's
an
good for
otherwise
the goose
perfect
is
movie.
Not always good for the gander.
But it's a mistake in an
just-
otherwise
it says
perfect
it can't.
movie. Continuity error.
Well,
But he gets stabbed to a door through what must have been a really long knife because he just is impaled there with his feet off the ground. And we get the famous first Michael Myers head tilt. He looks like a puppy looking at you funny. The askew head.
I'm confused.
No,
And-
he's like he's a interior decorator.
And aside from that error, that stabbing to him being the goat, Michael Myers dressed up as the ghost, that's like one of the best back-to-back
I
scenes.
thought you were about to say goat, and I was like,
It's Michael Myers pretending to be
he's
Bob,
a goat.
dressed in a ghost
I do
sheet.
love him with a ghost sheet on.
The ghost sheet, but that stabbing and to this
You
is
would.
like two of the best. That's one of the best like scene progressions in horror.
Yeah, I like
think.
it.
And it's so spooky because he won't answer her. So she gets up naked. She's like, "You like what you see?" But he's still not answering. So
pulled her
she knows
titties
something
out.
up. So she goes to the phone, but the phone is in a completely different spot than it was when Bob took it off the hook. The first time I ever noticed that as well. Again, those are two silly errors in an otherwise perfect movie. So
Scorsese has continuity errors in all his movies.
maybe they do it on purpose.
No, they don't.
Well, anyway, Michael is strangling Linda with a phone cord.
For those
and
listening home, Emily's head is in her hands.
She got Lori
has
on
her
the
elbows
phone.
on her
That is
knees,
so
her head's in her hands.
She got Lori on the phone, but Lori at first thinks it's fucking, but then with the like
She starts
sounds at
getting
the
freaked
end,
out.
she gets scared. The lights go off across the street. So she tries to call back. There's no answer. She puts the kids to sleep, and then
She
we
actually
see
euthanizes them, so
no, not like pets. She makes sure they pass out and are in bed together, which is kind of weird, but not weird. Loomis is at the Myers place, and he sees his own car. He's like, "Oh, that's my nurse's car." So then Lori goes to check on the wall of his house.
He's like, I
There's
gotta
nobody
get done
answering.
with this so I can
So
get back and kill James Bond.
yeah.
she goes in the open back door. Weird. She hears a clunk upstairs. She's like, "Come on, guys, I know you're up there." So she goes upstairs, and
Now
it's
this is very much
where
Halloween
you think
did
it's-
start this whole thing where they find she finds all the dead bodies.
but it's great atmosphere when she's going up the stairs. I would imagine you think it's slow, but I think it's beautiful.
Okay.
She ends up finding Annie with Judith Myers gravestone over her head.
that is a fantastic shot with
Great interior decorating, Michael.
Yes, I do think that Michael did a good job at the interior decorating with the tombstone.
Yeah, in his downtime, he's tying up Bob bodies.
It's like, I think this would look good this way.
So Bob swings down. She opens the closet, and PJ Souls is dead in the closet, looking
She
all
falls
cool.
She falls down though, doesn't she?
Maybe
Like
her
upside
arm
down. I think
falls
she
down.
like falls down and hangs.
No, Bob falls down and hangs.
Well, he already
Upside
was.
down.
Oh
She's
yeah.
in a closet.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
So right behind her, out of the shadow, comes the Shape, Michael Myers, and he cuts her arm, and she falls like down these fucking stairs, and the chase begins.
So now
And-
that's an interesting thing. It was called The Shape, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she tries to go out the back door that she
I'm
came
sure
in, but
everybody
somehow
listening
Michael
knows
Myers
that.
has gone downstairs
everyone knows that.
outside and jimmied the door shut, and she just came in with a rake. It's like, you didn't have time to do that, homie. But she gets outside anyway, cutting her arm a little more on some glass. She's screaming in the yard. She goes to the neighbor, but the neighbor just turns out the lights and is like, "Nah, bitch, get
Rude.
the fuck off my property."
I mean,
like
his
damn
outfit
kids.
Just
looks
completely,
like he'd be wearing a
yeah.
rake.
It's like
Damn kiss guy.
Slumber
Slumber
Party
Master
Master 2,
2,
yeah.
yeah.
Dude, open the door, bro. It's TJ, man. Like, we're dying, bro.
Because your head exploded. Yeah.
But dude, it's Halloween, I guess. That's probably why.
Yeah.
They're just like, that's not really somebody getting a neighbor girl
That's a
getting
treat.
murdered.
That's a
They just-
trick. Sorry, not a
They
treat.
just turn off their lights.
It's a trick.
So she gets to the
It's a
door. She's
whore.
struggling with the keys, so she's having to like throw shit at Tommy's window. She wakes Tommy up, tell him to hurry the fuck up, sends them upstairs. The phone's dead. She gets a knitting needle. Michael Myers comes at her. She stabs this motherfucker in the eye. Thinks he's dead. She picks up his knife and is like, I don't need this. Drops his knife. where
She
he
still
can
gets
get it
asked to
again.
this day why she dropped the knife. Like Jamie Lee Curtis would know
They told me
why
to.
her fucking character did that.
Like she gives two shits.
She doesn't.
So Loomis has left his post at the Myers house, and the sheriff's like, I've been looking around for you, but he wasn't there. And then Lori goes to the kids because she thinks he's dead. Thinks Michael Myers is dead. She's like, kids, it's okay. I killed him. But oh no, Michael Myers is behind them. So she runs to the closet and tells them to lock the door. And she's behind this jangly closet door, which holds up longer than you'd think. But he busts in and catches a coat hanger to the eyeball, in which he then drops his knife again. And she actually stabs him with his knife
This is
this
the
time.
best part of the movie. Well, coming up. This is my favorite part of the movie.
You think that was an homage to Psycho?
So
Maybe. because
she sends the
she's randomly
kids down the road to the Mackenzie's house.
But she's just sitting there, and this is the scariest part
And
of the
she's
movie.
like kind of crying, you know, like,
Yeah, but
I
she's
can't
like-
believe I
she-
survived this. And
But
the
you
sit up.
see behind her him sit up, and
Like
then
the Undertaker
and
in
his
wrestling.
head like just turns at her. It is
The Undertaker totally stole that move from this.
What?
It's the I said the Undertaker, who
Oh,
did
the
that
wrestler.
move for years, like got it from this.
The wrestler?
Yeah, the wrestler
I
did
didn't know
that
he did that.
sit up look
Oh, he did that? I don't know. He
Yeah.
did that. Okay.
because he's like unkillable kind of shit.
Yeah, I know that part about him, but I didn't know he was all about that.
So he
Michael
does this
Myers.
crazy sit up. Loomis sees the kids running. He's like, "Oh, there's the house where Michael Myers is." But Lori has no idea that Michael Myers is walking behind her.
Also, though, when the kids are running away, the way they're screaming is really hilarious because they're just like, like they're just like screaming at the top of their lungs.
It works. It gets
guess.
Loomis's attention. So Michael Myers starts choking Lori from behind, and she is able to remove his mask, and we see his face, and he looks kind of fucked up.
He's not though. He just has like
he's just been stabbed in the face by a coat hanger and a knitting needle.
He has a cut, but like that guy, people are like, that guy's face is hideous. It's like they think it's like Jason or something, but it's like
It's
that
not,
dude
like-
was just a regular dude, and like they're just saying this dude's ugly as hell. Like
No,
it's-
he's been stabbed in the face
no,
twice.
in
I
real
thought it looked
life,
good.
the guy didn't have any. He had like an injury to his face, I think, but like other than that, he was a normal person.
So like Edward James almost.
Yes, like
Yeah, kind of like Edward James almost. So we
It
see
was
his
It's
face.
actually played by Edward James.
Loomis
Olmos.
comes up, shoots him 6 times,
He just had terrible skin.
and he seemingly falls to his death out of a second-story window
Donald Pleasance shot him, by the way.
6 times.
That would never
6
kill
times.
you.
It was 6
6
times.
times.
But he says 5 in the movie, but it was 6. He gets 1, and then he unloads the rest of the clip before Michael Myers falls.
I don't know.
He should have been like 6 times. Let's
Well,
say 5
what-
times.
you said you-
6 times. It is 6 times.
I think he talks about not being shot
You
6
said you had
times.
the.
That's in
you
part
knew
6.
the gun that he had.
I
right?
will. I'll tell you in a minute.
It's like if he did it 5 times, it's in part 5. If he did it 6 times, it's in part 6.
Some revolvers only hold 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
Smith & Wesson. I don't know what kind though.
With the 38 special.
I will tell you in a
Wesson, you know,
minute. I'll
5
tell you in a
rounds.
minute.
okay. So Jamie
we ever
Lee's
get
like,
through the
it
movie.
was the boogeyman, and Loomis is like, as a matter of fact, it was. But then Loomis looks back outside. He's gone. She cries. We hear the breathing. We see the interior of the house. We see some other house,
As the music.
the Wallace house, and then we see the Myers house, and it says Halloween and Fiend.
Okay. Kill count.
Thank God.
1 is Judith Myers. She stabbed 9 times. 9 times with a butcher knife at 5 minutes. 2 is the mechanic. We don't really know
I think
how.
it was an 8-inch cook's knife. Really.
I'll tell you what kind of knife it is in a minute. Maybe, I think. But, the mechanic, we don't really know how he's killed, but his body's seen in 19 minutes in. 3 is Annie, who's strangled and then her throat slit with a butcher knife at
love you,
54
Annie.
minutes. 4 is Bob, who's stabbed through the chest with a butcher knife at 1 hour and 5 minutes. And then Linda, who's strangled to death with a phone cord at 1 hour and 7 minutes. Okay. Trivia. From a budget of $300,000 it was actually $325 over a 20-day shoot, the film went on to gross $47 million, which would now be around like $150 million. So it was at the time, for a long time, it was the most successful independent films of all time. But we saw earlier that Blair Witch has actually surpassed that with a budget of $15,000 and making like almost $300 million in 1999. The original script was titled The Babysitter Murders, and it had the events taking place over several days, which would have maybe been cool. It was a budgetary decision to change the script to have everything happen on the same day. And it was decided then that it would be on Halloween. So, his intent, John Carpenter's intent with the character of Michael Myers, this is why I hate the Rob Zombie version, because he has a backstory, was that the audience should never be able to relate to him. The story is based on an experience John Carpenter had in college touring a psychiatric hospital. Carpenter met a child who stared at him with a look of evil, and it terrified me. Quote. They used the watermelon for the stabbing effect, the sound of stabbing into a watermelon. This is the thing about the music. He showed Halloween to an executive before it was finished without the music, and the executive did not find it to be scary at all. However, after the film was released, she watched it again and changed her mind, an indication of how much Carpenter's score added to the film's atmosphere. Producer Erwin Yablans confirms this, stating that while watching the movie in the theater, audience members would regularly block their ears with their hands because of the sound and the music were so scary.
Fuck yeah.
Of the female leads, only Jamie Lee Curtis was actually a teenager. I already talked about Robert Englund. The film was shot out of sequence, so John Carpenter had to create a fear meter for Jamie Lee Curtis so she would know what level of terror she needed to be exhibiting at the time. which I thought was very interesting. John Carpenter approached Peter Cushing and Sir Christopher Lee to play the role of Sam Loomis. That was eventually played by Donald Pleasance, but both turned him down, and due to the low pay, Lee later said it was the biggest mistake he had ever made in his career.
He did a lot of cool shit, though.
Yeah, he
Of the 20 days of
plenty
filming,
money off those,
yes, I know.
Hobbit movies.
Of the 20 days of filming, the 2 of those days were doing the POV opening sequence. Actress and Playboy model Sandy Johnson, who played Judith Myers, said in a rare 2018 interview that the only thing she didn't like about making the movie is that the fake blood would stain her skin. Since she was topless during the scene where Michael kills her, the blood was applied all over her bare chest and stomach, and all of it had to be scrubbed off in between takes.
Oh, man.
She remembered that whoever was doing it was rough, so Jamie Lee Curtis offered to do it, and she was much more gentle.
Aww.
Sweet.
Oh,
yeah. John Carpenter. I do love PJ Souls, so I did a little bit about this. John Carpenter wrote the role of Linda for PJ Souls after seeing her in Carrie. She went to a screening of the movie after it was released, sitting in the 4th row of a regular audience. She was very amused when, during her nude scene on the line of "See Anything You Like," a male audience member in the front shouted out, "Hell yes, I do," unaware she was right behind him with her husband, Dennis Quaid.
I bet she turned red as a
Dennis
bee.
Quaid asked her if she wanted him to confront the man, but she declined because she thought it was funny.
I thought Dennis Quaid was married to Meg Ryan.
He dated and married PJ Souls at some point. Yeah. So, since she was dating or married to Dennis Quaid at the time, John Carpenter and Deborah Hill wanted to cast him in the role of Bob. Unfortunately, he was busy working on another project, and John Michael Graham was cast in the role instead. Prior to the movie, a book was written by Curtis Richards and reveals more of the story behind Michael Myers' rage, thoughts, and motives. However, the book is very rare. I don't know how he wrote it before.
I'm going to keep an eye out for it.
But I doubt you'll ever find it. Donald Pleasance did all of his scenes in only 5 days. The total duration of his scenes is just over 18 minutes, which is shocking. According to the crew, Pleasance had consumed 2 bottles of wine before doing the scene about where he and the nurse are talking about Michael in the car.
He's gone from this place.
And director John Carpenter was worried that he would be incomprehensible and had a talk with the actor beforehand, but to the crew's amazement, Pleasance pulled it off. But
An Englishman can always enunciate.
I talked about this. The opening shot, it appears to be a single tracking point of view shot, but there are actually 3 cuts because the Panavision cameras could only hold about 5 minutes of footage. The first cut is when the mask goes on. The second and third after the murder has taken place and the shape is exiting the room. This was done to make the point of view appear to be faster.
That's expensive film.
Yeah,
it is.
Like that's what most of the budget was spent on. We've talked. Carpenter was a huge fan of the original Canadian slasher film Black Christmas and asked Bob Clark if he could write a sequel to the film and received his permission. The script eventually evolved into a separate project inspired by the film, which was this.
I didn't realize there was permission given.
To achieve the shot of Michael Myers strangling the dog, the trainer on set held the dog in his arms and dropped him naturally. This was shot in slow motion to make it look as if the dog had been killed. But that guy ended up killing his dog. So, anyway. Laurie's father... This is weird because it's Dennis Quaid. Wait, did you say Melanie Griffith? Right?
Meg Ryan.
Never mind. I always get them confused. Laurie's father is played by Peter Griffith. He's also the father of famous actress Melanie Griffith and the ex-husband of another Hitchcock veteran, Tippi Hedren.
Yeah. Is he the guy that kept the lions in Roar?
I don't know. But for some reason,
Melanie Griffith.
For some reason, this character never shows up again after the original opening scenes of Halloween. He doesn't even come to visit his daughter in the hospital.
Have y'all seen Roar?
Yes.
It's
absolutely insane.
Fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
Wait, and who was her mom?
Tippi Hedren.
No.
Melanie
Tippi Hedren
is Melanie Griffith's mom.
Yeah, Melanie Griffith's mom. And that dude, Roar, it's insane.
Those were his big cats
Michael's butcher knife is a W.R. Case & Sons Cut Code 10212 knife.
What?
It's a W.R. Case & Sons Cutco 102-12 knife. I don't know what that means.
Sounds like a cheap
Dr. Sam, my back itches.
Knife.
Dr. Sam Loomis's revolver is a Smith & Wesson Model 15 Combat Masterpiece 38.
Duh.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll 5 rounds or 6.
Annie, okay, here are the cars. Annie drives this 1977 Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Bob's car is a 1975 Ford Ecoline.
Which you could
Sheriff
totally
Brackett's
fuck in.
car is a 1975 Dodge Monaco. Dr. Sam Loomis's car is a 77 BMW 320i E21. The pro wrestler Eddie Gilbert competed for the Japanese hardcore wrestling promotion Wrestling International New Generation Wing,
Yeah.
in 1993 under a mask using the name gimmick Michael Myers.
No shit.
His brother Doug Gilbert, Eddie Gilbert was the guy that died, like was friends with like Chris Benoit, right?
Eddie Gilbert. He was like
Well, who was the guy that was friends with Chris Benoit and when he died it like killed Chris Benoit?
Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
That's Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Gilbert was the previous generation.
Okay, so his brother Doug Gilbert was there as Freddy Krueger, a gimmick first used in Memphis by their father, Tommy Gilbert.
Okay. There's also a Leatherface.
This was the highest grossing film in the franchise for 20 years until surpassed by Halloween H2O 20 years later.
Boo.
I love that one.
I mean, it's not as good as this.
I like
Did
it
you
more.
rank it higher?
Yes,
in
I
our
did.
old-
Originally,
Guys,
this,
we have ranked all these movies. If you want to go back into the
The Smith and
analysis
Waddle.
of Gag Me.
originally the script. This is the last
With
piece
Brad.
of trivia. Originally, the script had Dr. Loomis having a surprised reaction to the disappearance of Michael Myers' body from the lawn at the film's ending. Donald Pleasant suggested his character's reaction should instead be, "I knew this would happen," look on his face. They shot it both ways and ended up using Pleasant's idea.
But you said something about an extra scene for the TV version.
The
I've never
Smith
heard
and
that
Wesson
before.
Model 15 was actually a 6-shooter.
Okay, well then 6 times.
So
Okay.
he
Six
missed,
times?
He missed.
He would have
once.
kept shooting that motherfucker if he had more
Sure.
bullets.
Okay, so what do you...
Annie was also in Assault on Precinct
Do you think
13.
she
Annie was
okay?
also in Season of the Witch. She
And
plays
Season of the Witch.
Tommy Atkins'
Because she was
wife.
married to Tommy Lee Wallace.
Let me ask
Yeah.
you a question. If,
Production
if
designer.
you were the Annie in that Michael Jackson song, wouldn't you be annoyed?
I'd be-
Smooth Criminal?
Are you?
I'd be upset that it
It's
was a
called
Michael
Switch.
Jackson song because it probably meant I'd been diddled.
like,
No, I don't think he knew it was boys. So Annie is fine.
When he was young, he was just fucking his contemporary.
no,
I
he
just
fucked
feel like-
Linda Blair. Remember they fucked? They dated?
I just feel like
She was real good,
you know when
too.
people are like, "Are you okay?
She had a
Are you
bottom like a
okay?"
little
Annie?
boy.
Annie, are you okay?
Are you okay?
Are you
Also,
okay?
she
Annie,
probably
are you
she would
okay?
Are
probably
you
get
stuck in that
more
window,
annoyed with
Annie?
things from the movie Annie.
Do you need your stepdad to help you
that'll
out of that
come
window?
out.
Could you stop
Tomorrow.
asking me if I'm okay?
Or
I'm
like
gonna make
it's
a
hard
Halloween
knock
porno
life.
where Annie gets fucked by her stepdad when she gets stuck in the
Okay.
window.
Wearing a Michael Jackson mask.
Ben,
No.
what do you rank? I mean, how many stars do you give this out of 5?
I would give it 4, probably. I don't know. It's not. It's like one of my least favorite John Carpenter. It's not my least favorite, but it's one of my least favorite John Carpenter movies. But it's a classic, and it's a classic
This is hard.
primarily.
Well, you're gonna have to
because
fucking figure it out.
The score is
figure it out.
great. I watch it every year around Halloween.
You really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen this at least 10
it
times.
feels very folly. It like
I mean,
I'm going 4.5.
okay.
yeah, it's
It's
up there.
so good,
It's
but it's
I'm
not my
gonna
favorite.
go straight 3 on it.
3.
Yeah, it's
a
average.
gentleman's 3 on Halloween.
3.25.
I
Fine.
wish
I'll go up.
I wish I kept a
I mean,
record
maybe
of how
it's maybe a 3.5 set if I'm in the mood, but that's not a low score for me.
I like pieces
know that's
more than
not-
this, like Mother's Day more than this.
I,
Like,
I think it's I love
it's not my
Mother's Day.
favorite,
I
but
love
it's-
Mother's Day.
It's
I
one
didn't
of the
like
best
having to watch
But
made.
you
It's
know
so
that
early
3
in
is
the
not
year.
low for me. For me, that's not a bad score.
Watching it around actual Halloween, it always gets me in the mood for fall. That's what
Well,
it is.
Maybe 4.25, but I feel this watch I felt a 4.5.
Stay gagged on fake autumn leaves that they threw on the set.
Yeah, Robert England did that. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, stay gagged on.
Stay gagged on candy.
Stay gagged on.
I'm not going to eat any candy this year.
Yeah,
for
right.
Halloween.
Because you ate $56 worth of stuff at the
Yeah, I
fair.
had moussaka. I had a foot-long corn dog. I had
Do you
an
funnel cake?
Italian. No, I don't do sweet.
I love
had
funnel
a-
cakes.
an Italian sausage with onions and peppers, and I had some turkey leg that Mitchell let me have, and there was one other thing I'm forgetting.
I don't know, but it
Fair,
smells
fair.
fantastic in here considering you ate all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to take like a 30-minute grease nap.
So stay
I was
gagged on
sweating
all
pure
of that. Stay gagged on, jack-o'-lanterns, the internal
Stay
parts.
gagged on popcorn, butter on you, so Annie's got to take her clothes off.
And stay
Forget the
gagged on all of
word.
your social media, Instagram, TikTok, Gag Me with the Knife Podcast, Twitter, Gag Knife Pod. Become a Patreon for member shout-outs bonus exclusive episodes, fan requested episodes, and early access to episodes at www.patreon.com/gagmewithaknife podcast. Buy our merch at gagmewithapodcast.com. Gagmewithanifepodcast.com.
Really, Emily?
Whatever.
Yeah,
and
but
happy
I say
Halloween
gagged on this podcast.
soon. And I'll see you. Well, I will. We will see you next time. Ben will be with us again for Jacko. So.
I still think this should
Did you
be
still
last.
do dun 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 dun? Was someone doing Silver Shamrock dun dun dun?
No,
Tickets for dates on
I was trying to do
Halloween.
the Halloween.
I thought someone was going dun 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 dun.
That's right.
Well, we might do. Hey, y'all, I might be wrong, and we might have already done Jacko. I might have fucked up, fucking
Fuck you.
changed up the schedule. So anyway, it doesn't really matter. So I'll see y'all next time.
Halloween movies.
I will see you. They will see you. We'll see you next time.
Pumpkins.